Hi everybody, so today I thought I would share with you how to add two-digit numbers together without an exchange. So it's always great to start at the very beginning with using the real materials so children can see exactly what's going on. So I'm going to start with 38 add 21. So you can see I've got the dienes here. It's a good bit of equipment because it shows very clearly the tens and then the ones. Okay, so I've got 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I'm going to add another 21. So there's my 20 and there's my 1. Okay, when you add these together, now it won't matter at this point. Very often, because we read left to right, children tend to start adding left to right and do the same thing. So it would be very common for children to start by going 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59. That's okay when there isn't an exchange. But when there is an exchange and you need to swap and we make a set of 10, remember an exchange is making a set of 10 and then you swap that for a 10. When we do make an exchange, it's important that you start with the ones column because then you can make the exchange as you go along. If you start with the tens in that instance, you get yourself into a right muddle. We need to do a bit of a switch in terms of training the children to start with the ones in case there's an exchange, because there will be, it's coming. So let's start with the ones column then. So we count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 all together. Okay. And when you're recording that, you can record that as a 9 in your ones column. Okay. Next, we move on to the tens. There's no exchange to do, so we move on to the tens column and we add up how many tens we've got. So we count them. You can count 10, 20, but it's good to count it. This is 1 10. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 tens. And that 5 is now, because it's the tens, it's going to sit just before the 9, because this is your tens and this is your ones. Okay, so the answer is 59. Okay, so we've added those together. The very first steps should be using real materials so that children can see exactly what's going on. And they can see that you're adding those ones together, that they don't make a set of 10. It's almost, but not quite. And then that you're moving to the next column across and you're adding the tens. Now, you can also see from this that I have actually set this up in tens and ones. Whoops, that's not a very good O. So tens and ones. So I've already set out the columns, okay? Right, let's have a go at another one. So let's just get rid of that. And then we will have a look at another question. So this time we're going to just have a practice. I'll show you the next step. So the next step, after you've had a go at playing around with this with the equipment, you can remove the equipment and introduce pictures. So if I were to do 40, say I wanted to do 43 add 34. Okay, so I could draw this instead. If you don't have the real materials, it's great if you do. If you don't have them, you can use drawings to help you. So for one of these, I'm going to just draw a stick. Okay, to represent a 1, I'm going to draw a dot. Okay, so sticks and dots to represent that the stick will be a 10 and the dot will be a 1. Okay, so I'm just going to get rid of that so we don't get confused. Okay, so initially I've got 4 tens. So I'm going to draw 4 tens. And I've got 3 ones. 1, 2, 3. So I've represented 4 tens and 3 ones. I'm then going to add on to that another 3 tens and 4 ones for the 34. Okay, I'm going to do that underneath so that I'm keeping it all within the same columns. And this is preparing children for the written method, okay? So I'm going to draw 1, 2, 3, 10, 20, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. Okay, your drawings can be anything you like, but I've just kept it simple. Okay, next step is to add them up. Okay, so we can add them up. So we're going to count, remembering that we're starting with the ones so that we're preparing the children for an exchange later on. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7, there's no exchange. You're just going to pop your answer down in the ones column. Okay, then we're going to add up the tens. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tens in total. So we put the 7 in the tens column. So our answer is 77. Okay, and then just to finish it off, you can put your answer in. Okay, so that's step 2, if you like. When children are ready to move away from the actual physical materials, you can have a drawing and introduce it that way. The next step potentially would be to introduce a written method alongside the drawing. It's important that you don't make that jump too quickly. If children aren't ready to leave behind the materials, keep using them. It doesn't matter. For as long as they need it, that's fine. Okay, so let's have a look at another one. So let's do 57 add 32. Now, remember when I set out the 57 and the 32, when I set the tens and ones out before, I drew it. So let's draw it again. So we've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I'm going to add on 30. 1, 10, 20, 30, 31, 32. So that's what I'm actually adding. Now, when we set this out with numbers, and I'm going to do this alongside so you can see where each part is, okay? So I'm going to start, I'm going to have my tens and my ones. I've got 57, okay? And I'm adding on 32. So I'm going to put the add sign there so that we know exactly what type of calculation we're doing. Then we've got our equal sign that goes at the bottom. I mean, you can put it here as well if you like. It doesn't matter, it's up to you. Okay, so I'm going to do each step in both so you can follow it as we're going through. So remember, step 1, you start with the ones column and we're going to count up all our ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Add 2 more, 8, 9. So 9, we've got 9 ones. There's no exchange to make, so the 9 goes in the ones column. When we look at the numbers, you can see that you've got 7 already. So I have 7, and then I'm going to keep counting from 7, 2 more. So 7, 8, 9. You can use your fingers. You can use the dots to help you. It doesn't matter. Wherever they're at is fine at this point. But we know that we start with the ones column, we're doing 7, add 2 more, and it makes 9. Okay, and that goes in there, following it through. Children need to make, or we all need to make, when we're learning anything new, you need to be able to see what's going on. You need to be able to make the comparisons and understand that that number looks like that. That number looks like that. You're adding up everything that's in the ones column, and it goes in the answer box at the bottom. So you're comparing, you're giving them, like, it's a stepping stone really, isn't it? You're scaffolding the learning so that there's a clear stepping stone from this step to next without anything missed out. Okay, here's the next step then. So moving across to the tens, we count up all the tens that we've got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tens. 8 tens, no exchange, so the 8 goes in the tens column. If we go to the written method, we're going to look at 5 plus 3 more. So we have 5 already. Now you can show your 5 on your fingers and count 3 more. 1, 2, 3. So when you count up all your fingers, you've got 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so you can do it like that. Or if you're ready for it, you can put 5 in your head and just count the 3 more. So 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so then you put, there's no exchange, so you put your 8 in there. Okay, so you're showing really clearly one step to the next. Okay, remember we started off the very beginning with the real materials, the dienes, these. We moved to the next step to make it a little bit more abstract with the picture, and then, but it's still a visual, okay, at this point. And then at this point we move over to the abstract. We've just got the numbers, okay, but there's a clear pathway going through. All right, okay, let's just show one more then. So obviously the final step with these is to do just using the numbers. So when children are ready, and that will be different for every single child, okay? It won't be the same for everybody. Everybody needs to go at their own pace. So you write your 10s and your 1s. We're going to do 62 and we're adding 35. Okay, put your equal sign in. Now remember, we start with the 1s column. So we've got 2 and we're going to add on 5 more. I would probably swap that because it's addition. You can swap them around. They're commutative, which means you can do them in any order. So we've got 5, but start with the biggest numbers, less to count on, less work to do. So 5, add 2 more is 7, which goes in there. No exchange to make, move straight on to the 10s column. So we're adding up our number of 10s. Now, hopefully at this point, your child will have a clear picture in their head. They can visualise what's going on. They can visualise the 2 1s and the 5 1s and adding those together. Now they can visualise the sticks, as I call them. So we've got 6 sticks and we add 3 more sticks. So that's 6, add 3 more, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we've got 9 altogether, no exchange. So it just goes straight in the column there. Okay, and we end up with 97. I hope that makes sense. If you've got any questions, please drop them below. And also, please like and subscribe to my video if you would like to see more of these. I've got a whole series coming out, so stay tuned. And hopefully I can break these bits down and we can make maths easier to understand between us. Okay, have a great day. Take care.